Apple reportedly went to great lengths in order to avoid tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump. According to a Reuters report, the tech giant chartered cargo flights to ferry 600 tons, or 1.5 million iPhones, to the US from India. A separate report in the Times of India stated that Apple transported 5 planes full of iPhones and other products in just 3 days during the final week of March. As per the report, the company quickly moved inventory from manufacturing centers in India and China to the US in order to avoid a new 10% reciprocal tariff. This pre-tariff stockpiling has helped Apple maintain steady pricing for now. Apple sells more than 220 million iPhones a year worldwide. According to Counterpoint Research, a fifth of total iPhone imports to the US now come from India, and the rest from China. Analysts have warned that US prices of iPhones could surge, given Apple's high reliance on imports from China, which is the main manufacturing hub of the devices. China is currently subject to Trump's highest tariff rate of 125%.
China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also, but somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable.
That figure is far in excess of the tariff of 26% on imports from India, which is now on hold after Trump called a 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs for all countries, barring China. As Apple diversifies its manufacturing beyond China, it turned to India for a critical role. Foxconn and Tata, its 2 main suppliers in the country, have 3 factories in all, with 2 more being built. Donald Trump dangled the zero tariffs carrot to Apple and urged the company to immediately begin relocating to the US. The president believes that the manufacturing of the iPhone is possible in the US, as the country has the resources and workforce to make it happen. The White House claimed Apple wouldn't have invested $500 billion in the US if they believed the manufacturing of the iPhone was not possible.
iPhones specifically, is that something that he thinks is the kind of technology that can move to the U.S.?
Absolutely. He believes we have the labor, we have the workforce, we have the resources to do it. And as you know, Apple has invested $500 billion here in the United States. So if Apple didn't think the United States could do it, they probably wouldn't have put up that big chunk of change.
But if Apple was forced to manufacture in the US, an iPhone could cost as much as $3,500. This is due to a gap in supply chain and the required skills to manufacture an exponential number of devices every year.
To build a factory, it takes 4 to 5 years in the US. We don't even have the infrastructure and the employer base to actually build factories here when it comes to tech fabs and others. If you like $3,500 iPhones, we should build them in the US. If you like $1,000 iPhones, you build them in China. If you like $400 sneakers, we should build them here. If you like $100 sneakers, you build them in Vietnam. That's the reality, and that's why this continues to be the most absurd thing probably ever seen on Wall Street in many, many, many decades.
Fearing a steep hike in iPhone prices due to new US tariffs on China, many Americans are rushing to upgrade.
My iPhone's about 3 years old, so it's good for another 2 years. But no, I would not pay $2,300 for an iPhone.
Manufacturing iPhones domestically could reduce output by 90 to 99%, drastically increase costs, and cripple Apple's ecosystem.